would consider myself a Christian.
Yeah.
But I mean, these pastors be fucking the congregation. I don't know what to tell you. They've been doing it for years. The women like a man with power, and these men with power can't turn down women.
Yeah.
Look at, can you blame them? Most guys can't turn down women that are just flocked at them. I don't blame the guys, but you're kind of a pimp.
There's a difference in the way, there's a fundamental difference in the way that men and women view God. And that's why there's so many women in the church. This is my hypothesis, right? So women are attracted to powerful men. And God is the most powerful man. That's why you'll hear...
That's interesting.
And that is why you'll hear women say, I don't need a man. I've got Jesus. You've heard women. I've heard women say that.
You know what?
And it's like, I don't hear men say that. Men don't say, oh, I'm all right. I don't need a wife. I've got Jesus. It's like, oh, that's gay. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, but that's my theory. Like, my theory is we have a fundamental difference, whether consciously or subconsciously, in the way in which we view God, because God is the most powerful man and women are attracted to powerful men.
So here's my question though.
So I'm attracted to Jesus?
On some level, I don't know. I don't know the inner workings of the psychology around it, but
so here's my question though, because is it that they're going to God or is it that they're going to the church?
I think a bit of both. I think church is like, it's a communal setting, isn't it? It's like people like to be around a certain community.
Yeah.
And I think it gives them that sense of belonging to a community of some kind. But I do think, I just think that it's different. And I also think, like, see, the last girl that I was seeing, like, seriously, she was very heavily Christian. And I'm not anymore. Like, I grew up, but I'm really not religious anymore. And it was interesting because when we were, like, together, she was like, oh, I don't know if this is correct. I don't know if this is right. I think, you should become a Christian. And I was like, no, that's not going to happen. She was like, well, I don't know if this is right. And I'm like, well, look, we're in this. We love each other. Like, what's the problem? And she was like, I have to go and speak to my pastor, right? And so I was just like, okay, I'm not happy with that, but if that's what you feel like you need to do. And then she came back and she was like, yeah, I don't think we can be together. And I was like, isn't that interesting? I said, the pastor must be your man then. She was like, what do you mean? I said, because any man that can talk to you and tell you not to be with me must be your man. I'm clearly not him. Do you know what I mean? So I said, go be with your man. And she was like, oh, it's not like that. I said, listen, no. No, because if I went away and I said, oh, I'm going to go and talk to Serena.
Yeah.
And I came back from talking to Serena and I was like, babe, I don't think we can be together. You're like, who the fuck is that bitch? What the fuck is she saying? Do you know what I mean?
I have never thought about
and I'm like, that must be your guy. Church does keep women single like that.
Yeah.
When you can control, like, who you're seeing from who you're not seeing, even though knowing that there's not a bunch of men in the church that these women can actually choose from. Like, what's a woman supposed to do?
I have a question for the table. Do you think, so these women who go to church and then find Jesus later on in life, if they were already married and already had the family unit that they wanted, had the husband that they wanted, do we think they would go back to the church to be a born-again virgin?
No.
So ultimately, they're going back to the church because they want to find a man.
Or they might think he's there.
That's my point. They either
That's
think
interesting,
he's there,
yeah.
or they want the pastor to help them find or choose someone.
Yeah.
Because I never hear married women being like, I'm a born again virgin, going back to the church. Like it's never.
There's such a high concentration of women in the church, right? And there's not such a high concentration of men in the church. The men that are in the church generally are probably married, probably
really good men, like
probably good men, but so they get snapped up quite quick by these women. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, so then what happens is, let's say in my situation, which is I've heard it a lot of the time, the pastor will say, obviously, the man is not in the church that you're seeing because they have to go outside of the church to get a man because there's none in the church generally. So when you go outside, that means you're not getting a church guy. They tell the pastor and the pastor says, oh, he's not of the same, two people of the same yoke, or whatever the Bible verse is, right? You're not equally yoked, or whatever it was. And so the pastor basically puts, a no, and says, no, you can't do that. And it's like, wow, can you imagine having like someone having that much control over your life?
That happened to me. That with my last boyfriend.
No,
like
yeah.
okay, when I got baptized, they like told me, because I grew up Catholic and then I like switched to a Christian church.
Right.
And but then like they have to have you rebaptized, even though I don't know. But I was like, okay.
So you're a born again virgin?
No, I wasn't. no, but I don't. That's not real. Like, you can't, like. But my last boyfriend wasn't part of the church, but it was like one girl to every 3 guys.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what else am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to fight over the like 5 beta guys here.
That's another thing, right?
Like,
church guys
they're
are soft. Women find church guys quite soft.
Yeah.
Would you say that's true?
Yeah. Like,
they're quite square and soft. That's what I've heard women say.
Okay, this is usually how I'm gonna tell you church dynamics. There's usually like 1 or 2 guys that aren't, like a couple, right? But all the girls want him.
Right.
Like, I'm not trying to fight over a guy with like 10 other girls that are all lined up, Yeah. So
and he knows he's got the pick of the bunch.
yeah.
Like, he's like, what? I can just swagger into church.
When I could just date someone not in the church, like, that seems a lot easier.
But then your pastor will say that's the wrong thing to do.
That was the thing. I got a call. It was like really awkward. This was such an awkward phone conversation. It wasn't from the pastor. It was from like another girl that I did like Bible study with at the time.
Right.
And she like called me and was just like, well, he's not in the church. And I'm like, okay, so what? Like, what are you telling me to do? Should I dump him? But no, I did it. I just dated him anyway. Okay. But
there's that pressure though.
No, it made me not want to go anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's like awkward.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. This is the difference. Catholics, we mind our own business. Okay. Christians are all up in each other's business.
Right.